yeah, he's too extreme, but that's where you guys are going. So he wants $30 wage for people. Just you work at McDonald's, you earn $30 an hour, right? It's the same thing that's happening in LA. Now that that sounds extreme, but they almost need that. They really do, because inflation is so high in those cities. But what we'll see that basically those cities crumble, collapse. Uh, it's There's no way that's gonna be. And he's got all kind of crazy stuff that he wants to do. Just it's unbelievable. So Cuomo, of course, everybody hated Cuomo because what he did during COVID. I said COVID would be the first one to leave. I believe that, and the second one to leave would be Gavin Newsom. So I think we see a double of Gavin Newsom. Haven't heard much from Whitmer, and so there's the three top that I said back 5 years ago that we're going to be going as governors of America. Pretty much they're gone. Well, Cuomo definitely is gone. Uh, we're we're looking at right now. They're looking very hard at California because the Department of Justice has asked them to come up with all the people that voted, and not all of the people, but the people that voted that were illegal. And California's they're not coming up with it because, of course, no Democrat in California would be there if they really looked at the illegal votes. So, and I'm talking about the illegals voting. And the Department of Justice is basically California's blowing them off, and so the Department of Justice is basically coming down on California guys. So we're going to see, I think, in the maybe the 2026. I don't know, because I'll tell you the truth, guys. I think we're in for some rough storms in America. It looks really good right now. We just kicked Iran's butt, but how long is that going to last? It's not going to last if that administration stays in there. So the radical Islamists have to leave. So we have these radical Islamists. We have these extreme leftists that seem to be, gaining power here in the world. We can't coexist in the world with them. It's not going to happen, guys. So this one person, I think the people of New York, the most populous city in America for a long time. I think well over 100 years. New York's been the most populous city in America. It's like 7 or 8 million, something crazy. I think LA might be number 2. Chicago's up there. So we're going to see, these cities are going to try and go socialist. And we've been seeing that for quite some time. They want to promise, the world to these people, and they get their votes, and they can't keep those promises. And that's been consistent, but people still vote them in. I think that's going to change. I think a lot of those people that have been voted in because someone manipulated the votes. So people are onto them now, and we're onto all of their stuff. You like those flowers? Yeah, those are beautiful. The orchids. So yeah, when my son passed, someone gave us those. So it's the last thing we're going to carry it with us when we move. So, and what's the other one? Oh yeah, my son got my wife this for her birthday, and boy, like after he passed, that thing bloomed like crazy. That was amazing. So we'll keep a few of the flowers going to California. Hopefully, we're going to go through those inspection stations. I remember one time when I moved. I think I moved from Virginia. Yeah, I moved from Virginia Beach from SEAL teams, and I was going to the SEAL teams in California. And I had all my plants. I like plants. I've always had a lot of plants. So I had them in the back of my U-Haul, and I get pulled over. I have to pull over for inspection. And the guy looks at it and is like, "You can't have that." And I was like, "Come on, man. Like, I've had these plants for years." And he was a good guy. He was like, go ahead. Jeez, so crazy. And has that really done anything for California being so strict like that? No, California's got some of the best produce in the world. I don't know if it's because they're so strict like that, but I don't think so. I think California just likes to be strict with everything. That's why California's falling apart. So we look at all of the economic things that are going on out there. We see that Trump is doing a really good job, and the gas prices haven't gone up, have they? No. Oil went down after everybody was like fearful that Iran was going to block the Straits of Hormuz or whatever, and no, it didn't happen. So I think Iran's playing along, but I think they're only playing along so that they can continue to, we'll like wait till Trump's gone. They've been there for a while, all right? But the Americans, have been very, very good at taking down evil throughout the world, actually. That it was from our actions that the Soviet Union, not all of our actions, but it was through a lot of our actions that the Soviet Union collapsed, right? Communist. And it was also from our administration that the current ceasefire is going on in Iran. And that ceasefire is only there so that the people can rise up and take down that evil form of government. So there's lots of people saying that's on the move. Until we actually see that happen, that Iran's a threat to the world. That's a deep state hangout, right? They basically sent a lot of money into Iran. It went all the way back to the CIA and MI6 when they overthrew, duly elected by the people government and install the Shah as the one that was going to be there. Of course, they got the Shah's son who's supposed to come back and help make things right. I think that he will. I think he will make things right. And if he doesn't, then I think there'll be a movement to get him out. So it's a people power around the world that we're seeing. Here in America, we're basically showing the world how that works, and it's going to move around the world. And that's what's going to really change things. It's not going to change overnight, and it's not going to take a long time either, though. We're looking at years. I know some people are like, well, we've already been 5 years, but it's probably going to take another 5 years. Or is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it for our children and grandchildren, and on and on and on. Seventh generation. I like the way the American Indians think. They always plan and do things for the seventh generation. So most Americans can think beyond, the Netflix. Wait, when's the? That's kind of where we're at right now, as the powers that are out there trying squash my show again. So it is what it is. So Trump was at the NATO get together at The Hague in the Netherlands, and I guess he was talking about how he was basically, the children were getting out of hand, so he had to tell them to behave. He was talking about Iran and Israel. He brokered a ceasefire, and then one missile went off, or one plane load of bombs dropped, and so they're like about ready to start it up again. And then he dropped the F-bomb on them. So he was talking about that at the NATO conference, and then somebody called him Daddy. So Daddy had to get involved, and so everybody had a lot of fun with that. So what that is, and for I guess over 30 years, they've been trying to get everybody to get online and put money into NATO, and the United States has been the only one that's really been putting the most money in it. Last time Trump was there, he got more people involved, and now he's got everybody's promising 5%. Now 5% maybe 3.5% goes towards arms, and then another 1.5% goes towards making roads that are strong enough to handle tanks, kind of like what we saw in Washington, D.C. Where else have you seen tanks go through streets like that? Well, we've seen tanks that go through streets like that in conquered cities, right? So Washington, D.C. just got conquered, and President Trump rose the flag, right? So you start to look at all these different things, and you're like, wow, okay, I get it. I get it. Things are moving in the right direction, but not everywhere. We still have, like I said, radical leftists and Islamists and so forth that are trying to, take over the world, and they get squashed here and there. A lot of people in MAGA got all butthurt, and I think they're out of line. I think they're really, and they've showed their true colors, where they come out and they have been screaming at Trump, saying that he is a puppet of Israel. I think that's ridiculous beyond belief. And so I think those people basically are going away as MAGA and people that put out information and so forth. Maybe they'll get relegated to a smaller space, but they just lost all respect from a lot of people, I believe. So we're watching the people that are making these accusations. There's a lot of them, unfortunately. A lot of them that a lot of us have followed and thought were really good, but it's still a disclosure that's going on. Still a disclosure that's going on. And some of these people, I think, are truly on the wrong side of things on purpose. So we have to be aware of that and stay vigilant. And even though we're mostly the mainstream media now, you really need to look at who the new mainstream media, the broadcasters like myself and others, who is putting out, information. What are they putting out? So you have to really, stay vigilant and make sure that people are, have integrity. It's like integrity is everything to me. So I'm not gonna bullshit. Not gonna come out here and throw stuff out there just to get numbers or something like that. I've been through all this before. I've had huge numbers here, and then I lost them, and I built them back up. So, will I be able to build them back up again? Maybe, but they're definitely trying to fight me in all my everywhere. So that tells me that I'm doing good. All right. So I was on a show last night with a bunch of military types, colonels, and really really good group, and John Michael Chambers show, and he's out in he left. He was down in Sarasota, and then he left and went to Thailand. And I think at some point we'll find out about that. And that's more of the disclosure, finding out about the people that are not so good that we're probably going to hear from. So eventually, maybe he'll share that story with everyone. But I was on a show, and everybody has their little spot where they talk, and I talked a couple times, and then my screen froze up, and I tried to get back in, and no one let me back in. I'm like, well, I guess something went down. I hope those guys are okay. So I was like contacting some of the people that I knew. They didn't get back to me. So I was like, maybe those guys are still on there. So and then we're contacting them. We're like, hey, I'm not in. It's like, and we never heard back from them because they're all like watching the screen and doing the show. And I was like, okay. So I went to bed because it's late. If I spoke the whole time, it'd be 10 o'clock. I usually go to bed at 9. So 9:30 or 10. 10 is like, if I'm up past 10, that's unusual, but sometimes. So they contacted us, and it's like, we saw you on the screen. We didn't realize you were frozen. It's like, really? I was like that's all, whatever. And so that's happening to me, right? If you guys were watching me yesterday, all the stuff that I had lined up to share, I pulled it up and it went whoop, and I couldn't pull it back up. I couldn't reload it. I couldn't even go back into my history and bring it back. So I've been through these hacking situations on many occasions. I've lost so many different computers, but it can be expensive. So trying to stay in this game. So I appreciate all you guys that are doing the LifeWave, right? So that helps me, helps you, and we keep rolling. Let's look at CIA director told Mossad leaders to back down after Trump brokered the ceasefire. So that's very interesting. So the CIA now sounds like we got some good people in there, and we have good people, of course, in the FBI. So I think things are, and we have someone good in the Pentagon. We haven't been having any leaks of information other than at the Pentagon, where somebody leaked that the bomb damage assessment, there was negligible damage. So whoever leaked that lied about that leak. So they're looking to see who did that. So, the Trump administration as a whole has done really, really well. That mission that they just flew did really well. So they need to look at, who revealed. They need to close those gaps. That's very, very, that's bad. Because if we go to war, because remember how we had that one general, Millie Vanilla, and he basically said that he would call his counterpart in China if Trump had told him that we need to go attack them. That's treasonous. Hello. All right. But that's the kind of bullshit that's out there still, evidently. If someone's leaking information in a way that's false, knowing that it's probably a certain way, that there was good bomb damage, and leaking it so that it was negative and coming from a Pentagon source, that type of thing. So there's still work to do, guys. There's still work to do. And in LA, 120 miles away from LA, the military, National Guard military, maybe even some of those Marines, are involved in going out and taking out drug dealers and so forth. They're involved in that 120 miles out from LA. Right? So I remember that when we did the Panama invasion, we finally got Noriega, tracked him down, got him, put him away. And then they started using us to go after drug dealers in Panama. CIA. That was probably the CIA that was doing that. And I guess I was getting close to revealing that, and they took me off there just for a second. So the CIA, I keep freezing, guys, because once I get to something they don't like, they just click, let them sit for a little bit. Yeah, I know it gets frustrating for me too, but stay with it. This is the way we win, and maybe when I move, there'll be a better place. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm sure it will be for a period of time anyway. So we're seeing the same thing happen. Now, remember, when I was in the military and in the CIA, I saw the bad side. Now that I look back, at the time, I'm doing good for the country, good for the world. And I was, to a certain extent. There is that facade that's out there. Right? And you are doing it to a certain extent. But then they start to manipulate, and they start to use the military. They being the deep state, right? And the deep state actors that are put in positions of power within the military, generals and admirals and so forth. So we really want to tighten that up, because I think if we tighten that up, that'll be much better. So I think that's being tightened up, because if we have military going out and doing drug interdiction in LA, now the LA police and so forth said, we have a shit show here. We could not be doing the things that we're doing right now if we didn't have the backup, because the communists, the socialists, have been taking away the police. That's what they do every time they get in power, guys. And as they get in power, they take away more of the police, and then they use the military might, the bad guys that they put in the military to come in and squash anyone that gets in the way, right? So that's, I mean, look at Venezuela. That's what they did. That's what they're doing now. Look at Vietnam. Look at the Soviet Union. They killed their king and his family, and then they came in, and I think they were like, geez, how many people died in the Russian Revolution? Let me pull that up. It's like, I think 100 million or something crazy. Same thing in China. Russian Revolution. All right, Russian Revolution. Number of people died. And they come after the farmers. Notice how 7 to 12 million deaths, Russian Revolution. So let me put China. China. So you can just do this. You can just start putting 1.6 to 2 million deaths, potentially reaching as high as 3 million. That's not including the deaths that come later, guys. So you have the revolution, you have people that are fighting in a revolution. They fight the the established political whatever it is, and then you have famine. You always have famine with the communists, right? So notice the Chinese that have been coming in and buying our farmland, along with Bill Gates, right? And there's a push to basically take that away from them, because what do they want to do? They want to starve us. We know that. They were doing that already. They're starting to come in with this bird flu lie, and they're, culling the bird population. Egg prices went to the moon, and they were going to continue that. If Biden or Kamala had continued, we wouldn't have any food left, right? So eggs would be like $10 a piece. It would have been insane. So that's what these guys do. These communist guys. We can't let them come in. It's a proven record that they really screw things up, and then eventually people wake up enough, they get pushed enough, and then they wake up and they push back and they take back over, right? Let's not even go there, right? Let's not even let these people take us to that point. So we have to be very vigilant. We have to call all this out and stop it before it gets going. So we cannot have that guy become mayor of New York. That's just not going to happen, right? Look at London. London has gone that road, and London is not doing good, right? So the English are ready to have their own revolution to throw off all these people as well, and so a counter to all the immigration. So we have to stop it. We have to stop the illegal immigration. We have to stop the communist movement, the leftist movement, the radical Islamists. All of them are here in America. So being vigilant on that and keeping each other informed, that is what's going to win. That's how we break this, break the back of this, right? All right. So markets, because remember I said when I say, like, was it Saturday night? It's Saturday night. I said on my show, and my show's like same time, around 5 o'clock. I said probably tonight we'll get some action, and then we had action. And I said one of the reasons why they do that, because on the weekends this goes down, then it doesn't hurt the markets. So what have the markets done for the last 3 days? They've gone up. Now oil has gone down. Now oil is the thing that basically causes inflation. So if you get the price of oil down, you're going to knock the hell out of inflation, right? And of course, that was another thing that the Biden administration did. They were letting the price of oil go up, and because that's another way they can control things, and that's what caused inflation, guys. Because he stopped the Keystone Pipeline, he was trying to stop all the drilling in California. A lot of the people or the companies that process oil into fuel for cars and stuff, they're leaving California because of the taxes and all the crazy, rules and regulations and so forth. We have a major one that's leaving California. California prices for gas are already the highest in the nation. Now they're just going to go higher, right? So what's that going to do for the people that have decided to stick it out there? They're going to get pissed off, and they're going to make things happen. They're going to make sure they don't get cheated in their election, so they can get those people out, like Newsom and all the people in California that are horrific. So we're going to see a red wave, I believe. And that's not saying that the Republicans are great. I don't like any of the politicians pretty much, except for Trump, right? And maybe a few others. But there is pretty much going to be some new form of government for our constitutional republic, and it's not going to be democratic, right? Democracy is the worst form of government. So, and we don't have a democracy. So all this. That's another thing that the socialists and communists are trying to do too, the Democrats, right? They're trying to say, we have a Democrat, we have to have democratic elections. No, we have constitutional elections and a republic. So we have to stay with that, and we have to continue to keep that narrative, because Democrats are going to continue to steal. They're socialists. They're socialists. They're liars. They're thieves. I can't imagine why we still have them. It's getting to a point. I just saw an article where a lot of people they're leaving the Democrat Party so fast, and they don't want anybody to know they were ever a Democrat. I like that. All right, that's cool. You were a Democrat now? Yeah. Oh, I don't want to admit that. All right, that's good. I like that. Good job. So that's what we need going forward. Now, crypto has gone up a little bit too. It wants to go back up and test that high. I think we'll see what happens over the next several days, and then maybe we'll see a new high in crypto. Possibly, I think within the next couple months. I think it's very, very likely we're going to see we're going to blow through the $50 highs in silver and hit 60, 70 like it's like nothing. Because it's been so suppressed. Now, in the past, it has spiked to 50, and then the manipulators come in and knock it back down. So the manipulation is not working as well, because they tried to knock it down over the last couple of days, and they did a pretty good job on Tuesday of knocking gold and silver down, but they're chucking back up. They're coming back up the hill. Check. I think I can. And then they're going to get to the point where it's just going to just blow past everything. Now, silver is going to outperform massively. It's going to be laughing at crypto as far as doubling, tripling, quadrupling, 10x. All right, and you're like 10x. That'd be like $360. Yeah, and maybe higher. So we have to get to that point, guys, just to get. If you look at inflation and the loss of the buying power of the dollar. Imagine if you bought back in 1929 a suit cost like $42 or something like that. So you get a nice suit, tie, and nice shoes. That's a gentleman's, not just rinky-dink, but a nice gentleman's suit. $42. Now, gold back then was 42 ounces. So right now, gold is 3,300 and I don't know, 30, 40, whatever. And it was 380. 3,380 on Monday. And then they knocked hell out of it, like $60 down. And then it popped back. It came back at $20. And today it's back up another 10. Now it's just going to just chuck back up. So if you were to take an ounce of gold and you were to take it and buy a suit, you would get a very nice suit for that amount, right? A very nice gentleman's suit with nice shoes and nice, probably Armani and some good shoes, or maybe Armani shoes. So you have a very nice suit. So but if you still had that $48, $42 and not that ounce of gold, $42, that ain't gonna buy you a good tie. All right. So you people that are keep talking about staying in the dollar, the dollar is down huge over the last month, quite significantly, and gold is up, silver is up, and silver will outperform gold, like I've been talking about for years now. So, it'll. I mean, XRP, yeah, maybe XRP will go up, probably will go back up, might hit that high, might go past that high, might double past that high, might triple from where it's at right now. But that looks like it makes me yawn. It makes me go to sleep when I think about how silver is going to perform next to XRP. Right. So I made a ton of money on XRP. I got in early. Everybody sat on it for 50 cents for like years and years and years. I'm like, I had a dream. Really, I had a dream. It everything, and I put everything in XRP, and then it exploded upwards, and I made tons of money. So it was great. All right, so I'm telling you, if you're not in silver, you're going to be like, damn, I wish I listened to Mike. I wish I listened to Mike. I wish I listened to Mike. La, 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 la. So it's going to be magnificent. So I want you guys to be winners. Me and Trump, President Trump, me and President Trump, we like winners, right? We want you to be winners. We like to hang out with winners, right? So it's your choice. Now the stock market is. Now I said this. There's a very good possibility. I said this months and months ago. I said we're probably going to see some crazy numbers in the stock market. We'll probably see pullbacks. Some of them may be the pullback, but they weren't, fortunately, because we got Big Daddy Trump in there. Like I guess the Europeans at NATO call him Daddy now. Big Daddy, right? So that's a term of endearment in the South. You call him Big Daddy, right? So it is amazing to see the things that are transpiring because of President Trump. So we wouldn't have a good economy. We probably would have $10 eggs. We have gas prices that would probably be like, for Californians, it'd be $15 a gallon. Before the rest of us would be like $5 a gallon. So, and who knows, we're probably getting ready to do another pandemic. I think they still are. I think they had it planned. They thought they were going to get away with election steal, and they had another pandemic, just like they were going to do with Hillary. And they didn't work out, but they still pushed it. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to, but it was close. It was almost took out the world. But a lot of us have survived, so that's good. And I think a lot of us are going to continue to survive. And then we know in my home state, not home state now, but the state where I grew up in, South Carolina, they just passed a law where over the counter you can buy hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. Nice, right? All right. So in Intuistat, we have it in our intuitive wellness line. It's got garlic, and I think it's way better than ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. So Allison. So garlic, Allison, very, very good. And that's in our Intuitive Warrior, our Intuitive Wellness. You go to my website, MikeJaco.com, and you'll find all my stuff. You'll find the hats, you find the shirts, and I have a shop for all that stuff too. So lots of good stuff. All right. So the excellence that we're going to see going forward is going to be broken up a little bit by some craziness. Now, if you're intuitive, you're not worried about it. Or you watch me and I'm still allowed to talk, which I guess I went off in a direction where they didn't care. So they haven't, silenced me. So it's going to be very good going forward. All right, so what we're gonna keep moving forward and keep deciding. So I'm looking at this one article. It says more voters deciding they'd rather be called anything but a Democrat. All right, between 2024 and 2025 alone, Democrats experienced one of their most severe year-over-year losses, dropping 1.3% percentage points in registered voter share, according to a recent NBC News analysis of data compiled by Ballotpedia across 33 states and Washington, D.C. Even Washington, D.C. They're like the biggest jackasses of any other place. It's really surprising. So, Republicans have also seen a decline, although less severe, dropping from 32.8% to 30.9%. In contrast, independent and third-party affiliations increased from 23% to 32%. So that no party type thing that I'm talking about, we're moving in that direction, guys. We're going to do away with Republican and Democrat parties, right? You and I and anyone that has a good message will be able to move up. And if your message is good and you have good integrity and you've proven yourself, probably going to get a good shot at being elected to, political parties going forward, guys. So I think that's fantastic. That's definitely the way things should be. And of course, we're moving in that direction. Of course, we are, because we're deciding. It's up to us now. So the feds annihilate Antifa militants with tear gas and crowd control munitions at ICE facility in Portland. So remember how back in, I guess, 2020, the election, they tried to do the election steal on Trump, which they did. And Portland and Seattle and all those, maybe it was 2019, 2020. So they were doing all the crazy stuff, and nothing was ever done. Now we're like knocking hell out of them. We got to, because they're going to, at some point, they're probably going to get out of control. And we're just going to put a fence around some of these cities and just say, come near the fence. We're just going to shoot you. Yeah, so it's too bad. But it's come to that. Most of those cities, if you go, I watched this guy that goes through all the West Coast cities, and from San Diego all the way up into Seattle, all the big cities. Stores are gone. Businesses are gone. Streets are empty. Bums on the streets. Poop on the streets. It's just ghetto in a lot of these cities. Malls are closing. I mean, it's on and on and on. So restaurants, no restaurants. Even down in San Francisco, I'm gonna have to go out there and just check it out. Maybe do a video when I get out in that area, and we'll see. We'll see what that's about. All right. So that's good. I don't see how we're going to move around that, because the socialists they're violent, as we've seen throughout time, and we have the socialists we've allowed them, unfortunately, to gain quite a lot of power. All right, so Michigan. So you guys remember I talked about Whitmer, right? Michigan emerges as Midwest hub for gender-affirming care, even for kids. So this is Luciferian demonic stuff. Lucifer is basically transgender. You look at Statue of Liberty; it's got a man's head, it's got the jawline of a man, and it's got little boobies, and you look at everything else. It's got big muscular arm and he/she, and it's basically Lucifer. Statue of Liberty is in our face, Lucifer. Everybody's like, symbol of freedom. No, it's a symbol of slavery, because you see this, and if you look at the torch, if you turn the torch upside down, it looks like a penis. And if you look at the Statue of Liberty's ankle, there is a shackle there. Yes, there's a shackle there. Right. All right. So, I mean, all we can do is just point these things out, and then eventually those monuments and so forth come tumbling down, and it will be the downfall of them, won't it? Their little craziness that they like to do. Their symbolism will be their downfall, because they can't stop themselves. They're addicted to, like, in our face, like the number 8. I think there was something else I saw where 8 people died, and I was like, if you saw my show yesterday, that the part that I could, like, reveal, I was talking about how the number 8 is Saturn, the number for Saturn, and Saturn, Satan. All right, it's all related. So very, very interesting. Of course, AOC, she's very socialist, right? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she is probably going to run for president, of course, because the Democrats are socialists. So let's get a good socialist. Let's get AOC up there for 28. All right, let's push her forward. And of course, maybe they have a mosquito drone that's sneaking into her home. They actually have mosquito drones now. That's the latest. RoboSting. China unveils tiny, terrifying mosquito-sized drone to be used for spying and special missions as they sneak into homes. It's not enough that they can, like, look at us through our computers and phones, but they got to send a little mosquito drone in. Right? All right, let me show you a picture of this baby. Mosquito drones, and they can make them smaller than that. They can make a little bug, a little juju bug, and it'll fly around and get information. But that's it. China has unveiled a tiny, terrifying mosquito-sized drone. And if they, like, put a, like, hypodermic needle on it and, like, come in and inject you, that would be perfect. Did you see in France where they had like, people were getting stabbed with hypodermic needles? Women, like 150 women. It's like, really, 150 women? Who's doing that? Who's doing? Do we have evidence? We have any? Is anyone, like? Do they realize who did that? I mean, if somebody stuck me, I'd be like, good. I'd be like, I know who did it, and they probably get an instant fist, right? So I don't know. Is that just? Let's see. French needles. Arrest in France after scores report being attacked. Okay, good. All right. The French are, they're doing something. How about that? Arrest in France after scores report being attacked with syringes at street musical. Nearly 150 people report needle stabbings during music festival. Getting pretty cray-cray out there. France, of course, they've invited everybody, all the Muslims, to come there. French government said reports of syringe attacks were with more than 1,000 identified victims. 1,000. So this is all the way back to June 2022. So this has been going on for a while. So it says that a self-described feminist and others warned on TikTok that men may try to prick women because they can't prick them otherwise. So they can prick them with syringes during festivals. All right. So, like, who are these men? What nationality? Come on. See, they always do this bullshit. Always do this bullshit. They don't give us all the information that we need and so some of us are going to do the digging, and we're going to keep pushing, and we're going to find out, and we're going to put it out, right? But now that we're talking about it and saying stuff about it, maybe now they'll do something. Now that I've said something, the way this works is crazy. Now that I've brought it to everybody's attention, Then we're going to get to the bottom of this. All right, you little French boys, that men, not you know, French. Come on, you're not real men. All right, guys, stay in the love vibration, and still going to get a little cray cray. Not a little, probably quite a bit. We haven't seen anything yet. It's going to have to be very flexible. I think we're getting a massive energy boost from the sun. So it could be pretty significant earthquakes coming up next few days. So just be heads up on that. All right. Stay in the love vibration. And I'll see you guys next time.